All right, everyone, we are live, but I'm just going to wait for a couple people because I know a few people are going to join me today. But that's okay. I'm just going to, because I'm just setting everything up for today. But as lots of you know, I've said I will start to do lives on a Sunday because we seem to have, lots of people seem to have liked that and interacted. So hopefully this suits everybody. And you can probably see it in the background. I have been working on cleaning up my background here because I thought, oh my goodness, I so have to clean this up because it was so messy and crazy. So, but yeah, so oh, hi, Lovey, how are you? Yeah, so I'm, like I said last time, what I'm going to do is if anyone leaves comments and so on, I will actually, just kind of like talk about that because obviously that's really important to other people and it might help somebody along the way. So a big hello to everyone in Australia, especially Melbourne, Sydney. We're all in lockdown at the moment. And my gorgeous US friends and from Canada, Korea, New Zealand. I've probably missed someone. Japan, I know I've got some people over there. So hello to everyone. So hopefully, oh, hi Marie, how are you? So hopefully I can actually help. But today what I thought I'll talk about is we'll talk about growth because that's something that people ask me honestly all the time. Oh, hi from the US. I know it's nighttime, Lovey, and thank you for joining in. I know you probably got your jammies on and ready for bed, but in Australia it's only 11 a.m. So, and I think this is amazing. All of us Aussies can get to support people in the US and Canada and so on. And, for anyone in the US, I keep saying this, in Australia, we don't have like guilds or, big soaping things like that. It's actually not that much help. So it's like a million times harder for a soaper in Australia, I think. And a lot of people really haven't got onto board with, making soap, selling soap and all of that sort of thing. It's still quite new here. But anyway, I just thought we'll talk about that. But today I thought, like I said, I thought it would be really good if we can start to talk about growth because that is really important in a soaping business. It's fine to have it as a hobby, but if you actually want to make money, and I mean, let's face it, most of us do. I mean, behind me, you can see so many products. It costs a lot of money. Over time, honestly, I've invested tens of thousands of dollars. But like many of you, I didn't have that money at the start to do that. I definitely didn't. So I always tell my little story. I started with $22, sold a couple bath bombs. Actually, I sold some to my mother-in-law and her friends. And then from there, I started doing markets. Everything I've made, I literally put back in. So you can make it from having very, very little money. So don't think that you need to go and spend, thousands and thousands of dollars, to get this off the ground because you don't. So, but like I said, anyway, I'm going to just go through my questions, which you always know I have them on the side. And I'm sorry if they're on, if I kind of look down or I'm not looking at the camera because I always film on an iPhone. So for any of you that don't know and want to do a YouTube, I do all mine on an iPhone. This is a Pro Max, I think, a 12 Pro Max or something. My husband bought it for me and then it gets paid out of the business when the business makes enough money, So, yeah, so anyway, and I film everything on this. So don't think you got to have a fancy smancy camera. And honestly, the tripod that's sitting on now, I think it's $8 from my local department store. Oh, hi from the US. Hi, sweetie. How are you? I know you're in your jammies. It's night time. But in Australia, it's the morning. It's only 11 a.m. It's morning tea time. So I do have my little coffee. So if I do have a little sip, just excuse me for a moment. My aunt would be just terrified that I would actually drink this on social media because she'd be like, oh dear, we can't do that. She's a little bit snobby. So, but she's beautiful. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to have my little paper down here. So how do you actually start? This is the big question. And for any of you that already have a business, I'm sure this is still going to be relatable anyway. But if you want to start making soap or candles, I suggest that you start on one area. So most of us that start might sort of make soap, for instance, to start with. Me, I actually made bath bombs. I think bath bombs were my first, actually, that I made. I can't remember, but I think it was bath bombs. And then basically get really good at that. And then when you're good at that, then start the next thing. But at the start, actually, I didn't make candles. And you'll be amazed at this, which I was amazed. I was sort of selling, you know, at a market, like a craft market, or I think in the US, I think you call it a farmer's market. It's the same thing. So basically what was happening is I would go along to this market and then I would sell, say, $160. Some days I'd only sell $80. And I thought, oh, my goodness. And here, our craft market fairs here in Melbourne, the ones that I do along the bay, they're like $100 to $140 a day to pay. So that's what we have to pay. So obviously I wasn't even making money. I was actually losing money sometimes. So I thought, oh, my goodness, you know, what am I actually going to do? But I started with that. And then anyway, I thought, look, I'm going to put some candles in because I'd made them for years. And boom, you wouldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how many people were buying them. So there was one market. So I literally went from $200 to $600 to $800 to almost $1,000 selling in a day. And so that just goes to show that clearly the market that I was talking to really loved the candles. So, you know, that's what I'm sort of saying. You know, you can start with one thing and then you can just keep going along. But like I said, just start with one thing and, you know, get really good at that and then the next. And I was more nervous to make soap, because with soap, you know, there's hydroxide. I didn't know enough, and you just learn. You know, you really do learn. So anyway, that's the thing that I'd say, just start making it at home. You know, don't worry if your family don't like it or they're going to say, oh, it's not going to work. Don't worry about that. Just live your own dream, because, you know, there's people that have been very successful companies in the world, very wealthy companies that were laughed at the start. So you don't know. I mean, you don't know where soap is going to take you, or bath bombs or candles. I know it is very saturated in some places, especially candles. But if you do something unique and different, you'll actually get people following you. So in regards to that, I thought I'd show you my little candle because it is different. So this is sort of what I sell, things like this. So if you can, hopefully I'm showing you enough so you can see the biodegradable glitter and then my little unicorn. I always put these embeds on top. Sometimes it's a unicorn, a flower, a leaf, always different. And then I often put the sprinkles at the bottom or something different as well. And, you know, I don't have a problem selling my candles. Most of them sell for about $35. And they're pure soy. That's one thing people have been asking me for pure soy. So make sure it's different. It's hard because so many talented people. Yeah, there are so many really, really talented people. But, you know, don't let that scare you. When I first started, people said, oh, you're never going to make it. It's too many people. But, you know, look, I've done really well on YouTube. It's only a baby channel, as most of you know. And I know I only have, 1.7 thousand, I think, followers. But to me, that is really good. So don't worry about anyone else's race. Just kind of think of what you want. So for me, this channel is really good. I've got lots of girls that are so supportive and follow me along my little journey as well. And most of you know, like, I've opened up the Australian Soapery and Candle Conference, and even that, I've got lots of supporters from that, even lots of businesses following us from that. So don't worry what anyone else says. Everyone at the start says, oh, who's going to go to a soaping guild in Australia? Well, I can't believe the big companies that have joined on. So, from suppliers to the last one that I've got on, which is Deluxe Shea Butter. They're a global company that manufacture and, send stuff all over the world of shea butter. So, and they're at the conference. How did I come up with the soaps names? Oh, yeah. So somebody's asking me how I came up with soap names. Honestly, sometimes I'd name it after my daughters. Sometimes I'd say to my kids or friends, what do you think? And we have a family Facebook group. So I often say, here's my soap. What are we going to call it? And everyone will come up with a different name. Or sometimes I just think about it. And I just think about kind of like experiences. But you don't have to, if for instance, okay, so I'll show you this one. So this one here is one that I've done. Oh, you started with body scrubs and stuff. It's expensive. Yeah, it is, love. I know. So, but this is one that I started with. Oh, hi, sweet. How are you? Welcome. So this is one I started with, and I call it Lily Moss. This is a part of my wholesale range. And when I first started doing this one for the wholesale, I thought, oh God, what am I going to call it? But it just reminded me of something really pretty and kind of like had the greeny moss. So anyway, so Lily was inspired. So, and I don't know anyone named Lily, so I just kind of come up with the name and, you know, that's sort of where I just go. But don't put pressure on yourself. That's the one thing I'm going to say, baby steps. You know, no big company is made in 10 seconds. They're not. And I've been doing this for a few years now, and it's still a long slog. I mean, you know, look, everyone in here knows I keep it real. I don't lie. I don't get sales every day. I don't. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. I don't. There's some days that I might get $500 sale. Other days I might only get a sale for $21. So, you know, don't put that pressure on yourself to think you have to do this, because honestly, in Australia, they say 3 to 5 years before you're successful. They say if you survive 3 years, your business will be all right. So the first thing is getting your customers and so on. It takes time. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Bellas. Yeah, it does take time. Unfortunately, it does. And the one thing that I've noticed when I started, no one knew me, of course. But once I started doing the markets, people started to know me. They started joining my social media, and we'll go through all of that as well. Steps that I did that, and I'm just talking about me. You know, I'm no coach, so don't, you know, I don't charge for coaching or anything. I'm no coach or anything. This is just what has worked for me, and I'm just a little person. Honestly, my husband and I have a very mediocre home. We just have a 3-bedroom home out in the far suburbs. So we're not in, you know, we're not in the city. We couldn't afford to live there. So I get it when you sort of go, you know, I've only got $20 or $50. What do I do? How do I start? Oh, your best line is beard butters, someone said. Yeah. Oh, thanks for being honest. Oh, that's okay. You know, beard butters, honestly, I couldn't sell a damn one. Oh, mate, drove me nuts. The only time that I've actually sold some is my daughter is dating a barber. And in the shop where he works, he asked his boss, look, can my, you know, girlfriend's mum put her stuff in? It's really good. And he said, yeah. And then it started to sell. So sometimes, and I didn't ask him, he just asked me because he said, could I try it? I said, yeah, and he loved it and popped it in there. So, you know, sometimes, you know, and the hardest thing is to being confident, going in and saying, look, you know, do you want to try my stuff? But my suggestion, which has worked for me, is a couple businesses in my main town, because they like it knowing that the main town people have made it. I've actually sent one little free sample, and it doesn't have to be, you know, you wouldn't send them that. You'd send something real small. And I've said, you know, this is what I make. I'd love to pop them in your store, blah, blah. And basically, that's what I've done. And it has actually definitely, you know, encouraged people to come along. So, and, you know, buy it or to let me stock it. And you know what I also did in the barber, I didn't charge them money. I didn't sell them first. I just sat a couple in. I didn't sat heaps, just a few, like 5 or 6. And then once they sold, then I put more in. So, you know, and then they paid me, you know, like a week later. But, you know, because sometimes businesses, especially now too, don't have that cash to keep paying wholesale. So if you can do something like that, I'm not saying give all your products, of course not. And you do need to have some sort of agreement. I wrote my own agreement up. And, you know, I just regularly check, and I know the stock that's in there. So just to make sure that everyone's doing everything right. But most people generally are going to, you know, they want, if their customer likes it, they want the product back. And for me in a barber, because you've got to kind of choose what works. So I do a lot of sweet and fruity kind of smells, but in there they wanted, you know, sort of like a leather wood type, you know, like a more grungy kind of, you know, like that sort of Italian leather, because I mix a lot of mine. So it's sort of like got Italian leather, some sandalwood, a bit of vanilla. So that's the most popular one that I do for their beard butters. And I always make sure I write like a key ingredient. So most of my things have jojoba oil because I really love it. So so if you kind of like zone something that people know or represent your company with, the same as Jerica from Quench, she uses hemp and people know her for using that. So, you know, if you choose something that will sort of identify you more, or like I said, you know, like a candle like this that is different and that represents my company. Oh, they won't. Oh, people won't buy your soap. Sometimes they don't at the start. Honestly, I'm going to tell you, soap is probably one of my least performing products that I sell, unless it's wholesale. Since I've done wholesale, I have sold a lot more soap. And people say to me, the soap's beautiful, but in Australia in particular, people just don't want to pay. And as we know, putting all these expensive oils in soap costs a lot of money to, costs a lot of money to make this and to keep going with it. So, yeah, so look, soap is really hard, but I think what it is, once they find one of your products they love, then they start buying others, and that takes time. So honestly, I really can tell you I didn't sell much at a market until at least a year later. It took a year of continuously going to all the markets, doing everything for people to go, I really like her. And now I do have people that will go to several markets to find me. If I'm not there, then they'll keep coming back. I mean, I've had people say, I've been to 5 markets to find you, because I don't go all the time either, because, if I'm busy doing this, or I look after my dad and I have a disabled son, so sometimes I just can't get to those markets. So so anyway, but then they'll keep finding you. If they really love you, they will. And a lot of it, honestly, you sell soaps and kits and it sells better in a kit. Yeah, I think so too. Often what I do at the markets is I'll have a deal, like say this was 30 or might be 2 for 50 or something. So that's kind of something that I do as well. And I do get a lot of people buying like that. And look, let's be honest here. It's easy for people at a market or a shopping centre to just pick up the stuff, take it home and go. People don't like to buy online. Oh, thanks for your encouragement. That's all right, love. I know how hard it is. And honestly, like I said, I'm not a wealthy person either. So I do get it when people are like, I just don't have $1,000 or $500 to invest. I don't have it. But, if I'm going to be realistic with you, I really think a business like this to start costs $1,000. And if you don't have that, start really small and just try and sell to your family first before you invest in a website. So my website that I actually use is Shopify, and that does cost money. It's $40 every month. So if you don't make any money, well, then you're stuck paying for it. So, oh, hi, lovey. You'll catch it. You're off to work. No worries, Ruthie. Oh, that's fine. Oh, it's night in New York. Yeah, I know. My dream's to go to New York when it snows in Christmas time, because where I am, we don't get snow. So most of Australia doesn't have snow. In some of the mountains we do, but most of it we don't. But anyway, so that's how I would start. Like I said, just choose one sweet one. So if you're looking at fragrances, you need to have a sweet. You definitely need to have like a herbal one. I would definitely say lavender, because that's a big seller. The same as peppermint is really popular. And, one that's kind of more of an earthy kind of or masculine type scent. So just go for 4 or 5 and stick with that. And then once you sell and get more money, then you can slowly keep adding on. So as you can see here, I didn't start with whip soaps. I've only bought them in not so long ago. Diffusers, I've only started doing those a few months ago. So that just goes to show you, and like all these buckets behind me, you probably can't see them all. Let me see if I'll just lower it down so you can see them all. So there's like a lot of buckets, I don't know what there is, 60 buckets or something. But that's what I'm saying, like you just can't start, really big. So don't think you can. And even if you have the money to do that, you might not have the clientele, so then you're stuck with it. And things like whip soap and that, they don't last forever. So the longer they're sitting there, the harder the whip soap goes. So you do have to remember that some things have a shelf life. Even soap, if you use rice bran oil, that's a lower shelf life. So I use things that have a higher shelf life. So think about that too when you're going along. Things like olive oil have a longer shelf life. Jojoba oil has a longer one as well. Oh, you've made 10 sales since your launch and you've invested 600 plus. I get it. Believe me, I do. I really do. And online, before I had Shopify, I didn't do very well online. Like, honestly, I didn't. But I think when you have a giant like Shopify, they're also sort of pulling people in because of their Google SEO and things like that. So, I don't know. I mean, that's my opinion. I just personally really love it. But Honestly, it's only been the last probably 6 months where I have really started to get more sales. And YouTube has definitely helped me because people know me on YouTube as well. And I'll get into too how you, so the next bit is how do you get customers? So I've written a few things down to sort of talk about a few things. Customers, like I said, markets, because you want to get your face and your name out there. Things like YouTube, social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Even if you think, oh, no one's even replying and I only have 10 followers on Instagram, don't worry, because everyone starts with one follower. You know, everyone, even people that have 10,000, everyone starts with one. And my best advice with social media is do not pay for followers. Definitely do not pay. Do not do follow for follow and things like that. Just organically grow it. And, you know, the thing is you don't want to just be saying, hey, buy my thing. So what I do is, you know, you put your product up. So like it might be this, and I might say something like, hey, this weekend we're all about making unicorns and sparkle candles. What are you guys doing this weekend? And so on, because you want to interact with people and you want to generally care what they say, which I actually do generally care. But the biggest thing where I've got customers, to be really honest with you, I think the biggest thing is I am really fast at responding. Even on YouTube, I respond straight away. And it's not that I feel like I have to, I want to as well, because I do love what I do and I am really passionate about it. Oh, you love my candles, Creative. Thank you, Bella. I know, they're a bit cute, aren't they? I mean, I love them. They're just different, you know. So, yes, and that's the thing too, getting customers, be different, be unique. You know, look, I honestly don't care if somebody copies anything I do and sell it. I actually don't care because they're not me, you know. Yeah, I am very passionate. Yeah, I am. But, you know, don't worry if someone even copies you. Honestly, don't even get on social media and say, oh, my God, she copied me, or oh, my God, she stole my idea. Don't even give somebody that time. Oh, you're using Shopify as well. Yeah, Shopify is so much better. It really is. But, I mean, I have the paid Shopify. I know you can do it at the start with sort of free, but there's a lot of things you can't do. But, you know, make sure you're grabbing people's emails. So make sure you have a newsletter on your Shopify, because then what you can do is you can send out free emails to them. It's just in a group. It's really easy. You just go on the marketing part of Shopify as well, and make sure you regularly do like different things. Change your picture at the front, make sure it's not boring, make sure it's consistent. You know, if for instance I've got these little things here, so all this is here is, if you see the back of it, it's like a sample of woods and things. Yeah, emails are gold, 100%. So all I do is, if you sit something like this, for instance, that's all you need. Put your, you know, candle in the front of this. And if every photo looks like that, it's better. Try and keep your photos similar so that your branding is out there. And then as you go along, you can do things to make your branding better, which I've done, which I'll kind of talk about that as well. And then this is what I was going to talk about. You know, how do you get followers on Instagram, Facebook, and so on? Yeah, share everything live. That's right. You know, do try and do that as well. I've actually started on Instagram doing lives as well and sharing it, because people seem to really like that. And I made my first like little video thing yesterday. And, you know, if you've got an iPhone, you can just use the iPhone app in it. It's free. It's totally free. I can't think of what it's called, but I use it all the time. And that's what I do all my videos on here. So I just fix all the videos on there. It's totally free. Upload the videos to YouTube. And don't worry if you have one person following you on YouTube. If you just continuously, you know, do videos and things like that, people will interact. They want to see who you are. They really want to know you. With the conference that I've also organised for the Australian conference, the one thing that people have said to me is, you know, I actually really want to meet you, because they know that I'm really passionate. They know that I'll give away free information. So that is key to everyone. I know this is going to sound mean, but don't be selfish. That's the one thing I'll say. Don't be selfish. Don't try and hold everything tight. Sometimes giving away a little information will help other people. It makes them respect you. It makes them send people to you. And, you know, it really makes a community where everyone can help someone. So if someone came to me for a really herbally type soap, I'd have to say, look, I don't do it, but I know this person that does, and then I would send them to someone else because I can't make everything. So like I said, that is really, really important to support other people and, you know, like I said, not sort of be greedy, just, you know, do give away information. Oh, you use the light box. Yeah, light box is really good too. Yeah, I do. I'm sorry if I can't read all the messages because sometimes if they're a bit big, look, I'm nearly 50 years old. My eyes are no good. You know? But hopefully I'm answering. If not, just message me another one again and then I'll remember. But yeah, so just like I said, the main thing for me is not to be selfish. And when I first started making soap, the one thing I noticed on YouTube, lots of people were showing soaps, showing how to make things, but no one really gave away a lot of recipes. Some people did. Katie Carson had a, you know, basic recipe, but I just noticed a lot of them were showing you how they did it, but there was no recipe. So, and when you start, you don't know how to get a recipe. You don't know how to even create that recipe or why you're going to use a certain oil. So that's why I decided I wanted to do a channel that gave away all the recipes and didn't charge for it. I don't believe in Patreon. That's just, it's nothing wrong with it. It's just something I don't want to personally do. I just want to be known for somebody that is helpful and really does believe in community. Oh, that's true. And how to use essential oils. A lot of people don't know. So for any of you that don't know, it's not the same as fragrance. You can't just add in heaps. It's usually only 1 to 3%. And not all essential oils are good for soap. Some of them curdle it and everything. So you really do have to know what you're doing. The best one is either peppermint or lavender in soaps every time. Oh, you appreciate it. Oh, thank you. That's all right. And yeah, and I have people say to me, look, I'm doing this recipe, but it's not working or something's gone wrong. Sometimes it's your process and that just is time. Because these recipes I give you, honestly, are the ones I use. Oh, you love my soap making. Yeah, I've got another one coming up maybe tomorrow. I think, this one, actually. This one will come up tomorrow that I've just made. So, yeah, so that one will definitely come up. And if any of you are looking for someone that's fun, another YouTuber that I love, her name's Tiggy in the UK. Love her. She's so funny. And she's really down to earth too. That's why I like her. She doesn't really give away recipes or anything, but I do love her. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, you're glad you found me. Oh, thank you. That's so nice. I do get some really, really gorgeous messages. And I really do feel humbled because you know what I tell everyone? I'm a mum. I'm a mum of 7. I'm a daughter, you know, I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm just an average person. So there's nothing special about me. I'm just like everyone else. Yeah, you do have to be careful too with their beard oils. And too, you know, look, some things you don't need to be registered with, but I strongly suggest you register. So if you're in Australia, and I'm sure the US and Canada and all the different places, and I know the UK is very strict, we're more strict than America, but we're less strict than the UK. So we're kind of in the middle. But with ours, you know, you need to register if you're making soap because sodium hydroxide is classified as, it might be a class B or class A chemical. I can't remember the class, but and then of course every one you do, you need to write like a batch. So I'll show you guys if I can open my little book. I've got one in front. I'm just rewriting it at the moment, but this is what I do. I just have a little book like this, and then I just write in it the date, the batch, and the information. And even if you don't need to do it for your government, it's good to do it for yourself. So if someone says, I want that soap, you can redo it again. Oh, hi, Deb. Thank you. That's so nice. Yeah, so I do try and help. I really do. So if anyone has any questions that, you know, I don't answer on a video, please feel free to message me. I'll never just be one of those people that give you a heart on YouTube, because I hate that when people do that. I think, gee, if you've gone to the effort of writing a message, the least they can do is give you your response back. I mean, and you know what? I've had people that haven't even bothered responding, and I'm just like, delete. I won't watch them anymore, because I'm like, well, they don't care. They just want my number. That's just me. I mean, I don't know. I just, you know, but like I said, you know, I'm just an average person. So, and I'm sure a lot of you are too. Yeah, it is true, isn't it, Maria? It is. It is, you know, like, I mean, look, we're all busy, whether whether you're a mum with the little kids at home, whether you're working, whether you're a nurse, a doctor, a soap maker, it doesn't matter. We're all busy. So I just think, we can all show each other a bit of respect to at least try and answer or try and help the next person. Yeah, but anyway, and so now I'll get through a few of my questions. So what kind of content should I show? So I did kind of talk about this a little bit, but a lot of the content that I've noticed people want to see is they want to see like me making something. And if you don't want to give away your recipe, that's okay too. But you can still like do a little video on your iPhone or, your phone. I'm sure the other phones do it as well. Oh, okay, yeah, Jill, yeah. No, I do, yeah. I get what she's saying. She's actually saying on there that it's nice when you sort of suggest something and then somebody will make it. And I do try and do that. If someone sort of suggests, like, I'm not sure if it was Jill or someone else, but they suggested filming my husband making the new big boxes that I actually made, or my husband made for soap making, which I did. Oh, it was you, Jill. Yeah, thank you. It was a great idea. And I've had lots of people ask questions and so on about it. So, and I've given as much measurements as I can. Yeah, I know, like, oh, you love that video too. Yeah, thank you. I know, it's really hard, isn't it? Because, like, that's the thing. Everyone just wants more information. And, and look, that's exactly how I started. So, and, look, I didn't start with, the mold I just showed you, the soap. I didn't start doing that. I started like this, just making, your rectangle ones. So even if you have a rectangle silicone mold, you can still do that. I mean, look how cute that looks. It's got its little tag on either side and it's just wrapped up with, like a little white string, but that still looks really cute if you were to sell that at a market. So, and think outside the box. So I'll show you something else that I do that lots of people love. So when you're making bath bombs, this is just my natural ones. I mean, see, it's just a round one, a donut, but if you put it like that and seal it, it looks really cute and people actually really love it. So you could do, rose one, lavender one. I mean, doesn't matter, blueberry. Actually, one of my newest, most popular bath bombs is lavender and blueberry. Everyone seems to love it. So, yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, just try and be a little, if you find something different or unique and you think, oh, someone's going to love that. Like at the moment, what's the largest batch of soap I make at once? The largest one I've made, which is my new one, that I've made is 3,400 grams. So, and that holds 28 bars of soap. So that's the biggest new ones I've done. And it holds 28 bars if it's like 2.1 centimetres in width of the bar. But if it was an inch, it's about 24 bars at once. In this kind of, well, let me see if I can grab it. So it's kind of like a taller, kind of taller one like that. So, yeah, so that's kind of the one. Sorry, someone else asked a question, but I don't remember what it was before. So just tell me what it is again. I think a couple before, I can't remember. Oh, COVID, that's right. You asked me, how do I keep it safe with COVID? I'll show you what I actually do. So if you kind of see here, these are my bath bombs. They are shrink wrapped. And that is what I do for COVID. I had one lady once say, oh, well, it's shrink wrapped. I don't want to buy something with plastic on it. And I said, well, I would prefer plastic than someone else putting their hands all over something I'm going to put in my bath. So sometimes you've got to be honest and say, well, okay, it's fine. She doesn't have to buy it. But, that's the one thing with COVID. In Australia, a lot of our markets are closed. We can't do it. But online, I just try and make sure that everything in here is really clean, that's sanitized. I don't let hardly anyone in here. It's very rare that I let somebody in here. The only one that really comes in is my husband or my two younger daughters who are 13 and 16. But pretty much no one else comes in here. And I just try and make sure that everything's clean, everything's sanitized. And, like I do have a COVID plan as well. So, you know, and that's all to do with cleaning everything, sanitizing everything, making sure it's out. I keep a list of everything that's gone out, that it's received, it's tracked. You know, there's just so many things that you've got to do. But yeah, that's the most I can do, is just try and make sure that everything is wrapped. I've had both of my immunisations, because in Australia, you know, no, I'm not saying I agree or don't agree with it. Don't quote me. But, you know, in Australia, if you don't have both of the COVID immunisations, you're not going to be allowed in public, basically. They're not going to let us in clubs, pubs, hotels, anywhere. I mean, literally, tradesmen can't even go to work unless they've had it. So, so that's another thing that goes towards my COVID plan, is to say that I've had that, and obviously I'm trying my best to, you know, stick to rules to protect anyone. But, and, you know, if anything ever gets to someone damaged or they're worried, I tell them, please contact me so I can help. You know, so you've got to keep communication opening. The cases are rising. Yeah, they sure are. COVID is all about to get away from us in the US. Look, honestly, I think of this as the 1800s. You know, like, you've probably all seen like the Spanish flu and everything. You look at them, they wear the masks. That everything was the same. In Melbourne, we've been wearing masks for a year. Everywhere we go. I mean, it's, you know, yeah, all over the US, yeah. And I mean, I try not to go out as much, but I think in Melbourne, where I am, the Premier in Melbourne, who decides everything, Melbourne is known as the most lockdown city in the world. Yeah, never leave your farm. I get it. Yeah. But yeah, honestly, we are the most lockdown city in the world. No one else has been locked down as much as us. So lots of businesses are closing. Things are really tough. So it is a tough time. But if there is a silver lining for any of us, the silver lining is we have more time to kind of figure out how we're going to do this business. And you know what? It's not about money either. So if you think, well, I want to do it, but I don't have any money, you can start to even do things like on social media that's free. So think of all the free outlets that you can actually use. So you can talk about it. You can say, oh, in 2022, I'm going to be opening this business and this is what we're about. And just do videos of yourself, filming yourself, just talking, because that's what people want to know. They want to know you. They want to trust you. They want to see what you're about. And you know what? And don't lie. Don't fib either. Be honest, because you know what? I could sort of try and be someone I'm not, but eventually it would come out who I really am. So, you know, this is who I am. I'm just an average Joe, like I said, that, you know, just lives in an outer suburb. You know, we're just average people, just trying our way. That's right. You can start to do research. Exactly, Ruthie. Yep. When I first started, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, buying products one by one. That's right. And when I first started, honestly, I was going to my supermarket and buying coconut in a little bottle like this. Now I buy it in 20-litre drums. But at the start, I couldn't afford to do that. So don't ever feel scared to do that. And also, if you buy a mold like one like these, and all it is 6 of these in a mold, that's enough for you to show what you can do. And then if people start buying it, then you can get more money. So what I did is all the money at the markets, I re-put that back in to new products. And what I did is I tried really hard not to spend it and then be able to buy things in bulk. So, and at the start, I only bought one thing in bulk. And then I kept going. Yeah, that's right. Practicing, testing, fragrances. You know, if you actually go to certain fragrance companies, smaller companies, and that's what I did with Pure Candle Supplies, who I really support because they've been amazing to me. And I think I've been amazing to them too. It's been a two-way street that's worked really well. And they often give me free samples because I said, look, I'll test them for free for you if you give me the sample. And they're more than willing. They gave me a big box of probably $60 worth of fragrances for free. So, yeah, that's what you've got to do. Yeah, that's started to subscribe to channels. Yeah. Oh, thank you, because I'm a good teacher. I do try, and I do try and give you kind of like tips. And I mean, I know in America, you guys probably just, it's a different, you know, be buying from different suppliers to us in Australia. But in Australia, we actually pay more for our products here. Oh, thank you, Jill. Your love. But too, the one thing I was going to say, in Australia, some of our bottles, say a 500 ml bottle of fragrance oil, it can be up to $70. Generally it's like 45 is normal, but in the US it's cheaper. So that's what I mean. Like, all countries are different, what you charge and not. And if I can say the biggest thing, don't underestimate your value. Please don't underestimate. At the start, I thought, oh, look, I'm going to just, do it real cheap. And then somebody will buy it and they'll like me. Don't do that. I really learnt, because I had one lady go, well, if it's so cheap, what's wrong with it? And I thought, well, that's pretty true. And although I didn't like her saying it, and I did cry when she said it later on, I was like really upset. But I thought, you know what, it's true. So then I went from selling my soap for $5 to $8, and I sell more at $8 than I did at $5. Because people go, well, if it's only real cheap, well, what's wrong with it? Like, they think that you've skimped on something. So do try and get your value, across to people as well. And, I don't buy any of the stickers online because they end up being like 80 cents a sticker online. I just do all of these myself. So this is all just with my normal $39 printer. It's a HP. The one I use is 3721 HP. So, and I just print them all myself and then just print them out. So what I did on this one is I printed it in grey and then just stuck the sticker on. Oh, North Carolina. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? Oh, I hope you're doing well. I hope COVID's been kind to you guys over there, or that you're staying inside at least. It's very sad. Here in Australia, we have thousands, 10,000 people that are just protesting in the street. And I'm like, seriously, I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't know. The police are talking about getting rubber bullets out. I'm like, I don't agree with that. But, I mean, geez, I don't know what they're going to do. People need to just get a grip, Oh, in the US too. I know, and it makes it hard for everyone else because they forget this is, like, my daughter's a nurse. And as she said, this is a huge problem. Yeah, you thought whether you should start a soap business. Look, you can do it. Oh, hi from Texas. Look, you can definitely do it, okay? You can definitely do it. And you know what? For every one person that comes, another person's going to fall. So don't think, well, there's millions here, so I'm not going to make it. If Lush thought that, they would not be this billion-dollar company or million-dollar company, whatever they are now. So, there's lots of people that say you can't do it. And for me, if I had have listened to a few people that sort of, when I first did like a market, it was a craft market, but like I said, in the US, you call it a farmer's market. I actually had people say, oh, well, you're not going to do it. There's like 8 other soap makers here. And what I did, now this is funny. So this is why you got to be different. I ended up doing, everyone else was giving brown paper bags. So when they walked around, they had a brown paper bag. I made mine hot pink paper bags. So when everyone walked around, people were coming up saying, where do I get that pink paper bag? And I said, oh, well, that's people that are bought from my store. We give them these bags. I had people say, can I buy the bag? I'm like, no, you can't. You've got to buy the product. And they're like, oh, okay. And so they'll buy a product. But, that was just the bit of difference. It's like, yeah, smart, it is. And it's like, I can't remember who the big company is. There's a really fancy company that make bright orange bags. It's like a little, like Vuitton or something, but it's one of those that are bright orange. Yeah, to get attention, that's right. So what actually happened was, they actually started this whole thing of doing the orange bag, and I seen a YouTube on how they did it, and I thought, I'm going to do it. And I thought, no one else has a pink bag. And even now, but they still get the brown bags, and I'm like, why would you do it? My daughter also has a really good business on, she sells on Etsy. And I think she sold about $10,000 worth in the last few months on Etsy. She sells like earrings, and she can do like promotions of people's company on them. Yeah, that's right. You shouldn't think that you're going to fail, because you know what? It takes a pretty damn tough person to do this business, to do any business, because it means you're a risk taker, because you're going into business. It's no wage at the end of the day. I can easily go and work for a department store or the supermarket, and get my $600 or $700 a week and go home. But that's not what I want to do, so I think passion is a big part of it. But as I was saying, my daughter is on Etsy, and what she started doing was doing something that nobody else had done really bright earrings, but she ended up putting them in these pretty little organza bags, and then she ended up doing this real bright kind of luminous you know, backing. Everyone else had white with black. And so honestly, and it's catchy. The amount of people that have bought her things. I mean, she sells earrings. I think they're $12 a pair. Honestly, at the market, she can sell $1,000 at a market. And when you think $12 a pair, that's a lot of earrings sold to make it. But she does really, really well. So that's what I mean. She's different. She's come in different. She made sure that she was bright and different. And we do the same market together, different stalls. And we always laugh because it's competition. Can she sell more than me? But she usually beats me. She sells more than me. But she's a great little entrepreneur. And everyone said to her, oh, it's not going to work. They're just boring plastic earrings. But it works. Well, yeah, exactly. I was on Etsy too, love. And someone just said they're not doing well on Etsy. Honestly, I was on it. I think I sold 6 things. That's it. You're hoping to open your business. Yeah, I hope you do. And you know, don't feel scared. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I do try and be inspirational. I do. And like, that's why I thought, look, doing this Sunday live, I hope everyone likes the live. I know you can watch it later if you're busy, but sometimes it gives you kind of, you'll be able to ask more questions, and then I can do a longer video, or we can cut it down or whatever. But I just think it's a good thing to do as well. So now people have asked me, what should I sell? So the one thing that I'll say is bath bombs, candles, soap, body butter. They are the 4 main things that are the big sellers for me. If you're in an area where you have a lot of men that have beards and moustaches and so on, of course, add your beard butter, because basically beard butter is pretty much very similar to body butter. Very, very similar. Oh, thanks, Marie. You're gorgeous. Thank you. Yeah, so the beard butter, like I said, if you've got kind of people in your area, look at your area as well. Me, I don't. My clientele isn't that. It's more beach goers. So, yeah, thanks, Ruthie. Yeah. So, you know, like, try and think about what you're going to sell. But honestly, there's things like, you know, the soap whips. I do sell them, but not as much, very rarely, because they're more expensive to make. The containers cost money, so many things like that. But definitely, I would say at a market, candles are my best seller. But online, soap and bath bombs are my best seller. So it just depends. And, you know, and what I also do, the best thing I can tell you to do is make sure you do free shipping. Not at the start. So you need to say, if you spend, say, $60, then it's free shipping, or $100, whatever you want, and incorporate that in your cost. Have I tried to make them? Look, I do make the these ones, but I don't actually make the whip. I just actually buy the whip. So I buy like the you know, the base, and then I mix it and add all my own things into it. Because honestly, I just think it's not worth my time. If I made look, if I sold hundreds of these, I would probably look at doing my own. And I do have a recipe that I actually bought. I didn't design it myself. I bought it. And unfortunately, a part of the contract with buying that one is I'm not allowed to give it out. So I kind of probably would never do a video on if I made it myself, because I like to give away the recipe and I can't, unfortunately. But if anyone wants a good one and you want to buy it, I think I paid $20. It's on Etsy, and I think it's called DIY, like bath recipes or something. So that's the one I did buy, and it is good. But honestly, you need a lot of experience to understand that recipe. If I had read that recipe at the start, there's no way I could have done it. Absolutely zero way. So, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I wish I could give that one away, but I can't. One day, maybe I'll come up with my own recipe, even when I have more experience, because I still learn things every day. I mean, you know, sometimes I was making a soap the other day and it riced, and I thought, oh, gosh. And I was doing a video for you guys, and I've been contemplating, should I put this video up or not, because it's a bit of a dud, a bit of a failure. But then I thought, you know what, maybe next week I'll put it up to show all of you that even though I've had a lot of experience, I still make things that don't work. So don't feel afraid to, you know, to fail sometimes, because that's how you learn. And then I know from that one I won't be using that scent in it again, and I won't be doing the water reduction so much. How do I market my items? So my main thing, honestly, the reason that I've actually been able to market well is honestly at markets. But unfortunately, they're all closed. Insurance and labeling. Yeah, so I think I have got a video. Have a look on the YouTube. I think I've got one on labeling, because every country is different with their laws on labeling. But in Australia, so like if you can, I'll see if I can show you up here up close. So this is one of them in Australia. So you have to write where it's manufactured. You have to write the ingredients on it, and you have to write it's soap. So like in this, for instance, at the top, it says goat's milk soap. So that, also like natural soap, and then it says the grams and whatever. But that's what you have to do. So labeling, and if you're doing wholesale, you still need to send out a flyer with your wholesale orders to tell people what they need to put on, you know, on the back of it. They still need to write me as a manufacturer, because, you know, they haven't made it, so they don't know the process. So even if you sell it that way, they really should be doing that. Same as if you go, you know, the best idea I can tell you, go to your local supermarket, whatever country you're in, buy a soap. Buy a soap that's on the shelf with the packaging, and you know that's what you've got to write on it. That's the best example. And that's what I did at the start. But then I just watched lots and lots of videos on it, because I was watching Jerica once, and she was talking about Canada. But as she said, that's just Canada. And our laws in Australia differ from that. So then I had to learn a bit more. But even if you ring up your health department, which I did, they'll tell you this is what you got to do. And for us, you know, once we register, we have to pay each year, which is like $80 a year. Then, of course, your insurance as well. So your insurance will differ whether you're going to do markets or not as well. Do you do your own taxes? No, I don't. So I do my taxes quarterly. Like I just do them on an Excel sheet, and then I send them to my accountant, which is about $900 a year I pay him. So he's, you know, really, really good and helps me but, you know, don't feel scared if you make a mistake with the tax office. You can always ring them up, and then you can rectify it. You can say, look, I'm sorry, I've made a mistake. You know, and then there are, well, in Australia in particular, there are forms that you can fill out, you know, or you can go onto your government, like we have a website where we sort of link in to our government, and then we can actually change things on it. So you can make a rectified thing on it if you've made a mistake. So, you know, the government's not here to just do all the wrong things. They do have laws to help us as well. Oh, thank you. Have I ever used maple syrup in soap? No. Oh, thanks, love. No, I haven't actually used, but you know, I used honey the other week, and I watched a video of this lady putting like a cup in. I thought, oh, geez, that's going to be like, you know, get all hot and volcano everywhere. And I've never had a volcano soap, and that's all to do with the heat as well. And as most of you know, I use mostly the heat transfer method, but at the start, I would not suggest doing that. I made hundreds of bars of soap before I used the heat transfer method, because it is quite different. You've got to watch it. It can get away fast. But yeah, like I did use honey, but you can only use like 1% of honey. So I guess maple syrup might be a similar kind of thing. Oh, you don't want to own them in your country. Yeah. I know it's a little different, isn't it? Yeah. So, but, yeah, no, like for us, you know, like my accountant, he basically deals with the tax office, not me. But I've not actually made a mistake, but there might be something that you've forgot to put something in, or you put a 1 instead of a 2 or something like that. But you do need to try and do it. I mean, in Australia, I mean, you've got to be so bad before anything happens. I mean, you know, and I do try and do everything by the book. I do try and, like, you know, always have your insurance, always, you know, make sure you're registered and do all of these things, and that way you won't be in trouble. So don't feel scared. But if you need advice, ring up a tax agent and say, I'm going to start a business. What do I need to do from here? Most of them won't even charge you. They'll just say, this is what you need to do. Come back to me. So even if you say, I want to use you as an agent, but I just need to know what I need to do first, and then get that advice. And the agent I used to use a different agent, and I actually got emails, and then he emailed me to say, you know, look, basically I've been working with other people in the industry. How about I can help you? So then I went with him, and he was great. So I don't think he's taken more clients though at the moment. I don't think so, but I'll let you know if he is. But he's really good, but he's in Australia, obviously. And this is the one thing I was going to say, don't be scared of competition. I say this all the time. you know, just like honestly learn, you know, learn, grow, always be watching, you know, always, you can watch your competition, but don't feel scared. I mean, I don't care if the competition goes on my website and has a look at everything. I don't care as long as they don't copy all my words or something, you know. But, I mean, don't feel scared. It shouldn't be like that. And like I said, that's why I did open up the Australian Soapery and Candle Conference, because that is all a part of community. Even if you're in another country, you can still come to our conference online. We do, so you'll have an online and then we'll have like physical as well. Oh, hi, Lovey. How are you? Is that Adrian? Yeah, so hello. I'd love to welcome new people too to my channel. So, and like, honestly, you guys are all saying to me I'm inspiring and thank you. And I do really appreciate it. But you guys are inspiring because you want to learn. And that's exactly what I did with other people. Oh, powdered cow's milk. Yeah, I use that all the time. Do I use powdered cow's milk? I use that, and I also use goat's milk. Very similar in soap. The best thing I can suggest with that is not to add it in your water. So I actually add it in after, because your water can go yellow if you're doing like a heat transfer method and it's too hot, or you put it in the lye. That's what can actually happen. Or you can mix it tiny. Just take a tiny bit of your water and pre-mix it and then put it in. So that it doesn't leave like little white granules and stuff. But I mean, I don't think like, I know this one I'm doing doesn't have goat's milk, otherwise I would have shown you. But sometimes, like this one has goat's milk in it and powdered milk, but you can't see. See, you know, you can't see. And I've just added that in later and, you know, mixed it all up and everything anyway. And this is what I was going to talk about as well. These are the things I suggest that you need if you're starting to think about doing this as a business. You need brochures, business cards, flyers, molds, cutters, shrink wrap. They're the things that you really need. But you don't need all the shrink wrap and that to start with. You can do that later. But the one thing you do need is, look, honestly, I was going to say a business card, but I think, you know, like the little flyer you get like that size, that is more important. Do I put clay or mica? I use both, so I do use pink French clay. Oh, West Australia. Hi, Lovey. Oh, welcome. Thank you. Thanks for joining. I've never been to the west of Australia. I've only really been to Sydney, Melbourne, Canberra. I think that's about it in Melbourne. And I went on a P&O cruise a couple of years ago. Just in Australia, you know, I can't afford to go out of that. It's my first holiday in like 15 years. So, which I took the kids for 5 days and I saved for a year to be able to take them on the cruise, but not anymore. Yeah, so, oh yeah, so I do use clay. I use, so what do I use? I use the red clay, red Australian clay, the green French clay, pink French clay, of course, kaolin clay, bentonite clay. They're all the clays I use. And then I use full cream powder, milk powder sometimes, and I also use goat's milk powder, which you can get that, you know, just at your supermarket or your chemist. But I use the goat's milk powder from the chemist. And the reason I bought it from the chemist is because if I make it for somebody that has like sensitive skin, but I never ever, and I would honestly advise you not to do this, don't make a soap for somebody that has a severe nut allergy. They need to go to a specialist to get that. Don't ever put yourself in that legal situation. I've had people ask and I'm like, absolutely not. I do not guarantee that there'll be no nut or nut traces in it. So, yeah, that's definitely something I'd suggest. Coconut milk. Yeah, I do like coconut milk, but I don't know. I do the heat transfer method, so it can go a bit funny. So, I don't know. I just kind of keep that one out of it at the moment. But it is nice, I know. And I think it's Mo River uses coconut milk in all of hers, and they just look beautiful as well. So yeah. So anyway, hopefully I have helped you guys. I will be doing a video soon on tissue branding because I am so excited. I've just finally, after all these years, I've saved up enough money to buy it from No Issue. So No Issue, most of you probably know, they do like a branded tissue. So I think it cost me $200 and something, and they've been really good to deal with. They've like messaged me, emailed me lots of times because I didn't send a high enough resolution of one of them first, and then they've messaged me back. So, but I will do a video to show you, you know, that when it comes, but I don't think it will come for maybe 3 weeks. So, you know, yeah, I'm really, really excited. So I'm just flicking things off the screen, but I'm really excited when that comes, and I'll show you the process I had to go through and, you know, how I actually did it. And for most of you that want to know, I designed most of mine on Canva. I do have the prepaid Canva, but you can do lots of it for free. You can even make your own brochures. You can make anything on Canva, and they were really fast. And I have to tell you, the quality is really good. If any of you are buying postcards or business cards from Canva, they are really, really good. Next time I'm having an online conference. Well, we are having our conference, so you can go onto the website to buy tickets. So we actually sell the tickets, and the tickets actually pay for things like, we've had some specialised guest speakers and that come in, and they're going to fly in from other states as well. So if you're in another country or you don't want to come to Melbourne for it, it will be on March the 21st. If COVID is still here and we're having issues, we're just going to move it to May. So we'll move it forward, back a little bit. But yeah, so you can go on there, and that is called the Australian Soapery and, so it's the Australian Soapery and Candle Conference.com is the website. So just go on that one as well. And I also do have an Instagram on that, so you should be able to see it, which is the same kind of wording as well. And what that is, so the guest speakers on that, I have Pure Candle Supplies as a guest speaker and talking about how they made it from zero to now. I'll also be having Zach from Pure Candle Supplies doing a candle workshop to show you temperatures and how to make a perfect topped candle. Then I do have Robin Soap House, and she will be showing you how she's made it as like she's an author in soaping, writing her own book. And Robin is also going to be doing a demonstration on making soap and how she makes all of hers, how she got into wholesale, how she makes a really good living out of it, and she does classes and everything. So she'll be really good. I also have Deluxe Shea Butter, and they are a manufacturer of fair trade shea. Do you print my own brochures? Yeah, I do, all on Canva. I do everything on Canva. Yeah, sometimes Vistaprint, but I usually save it on Canva and then print it on Vistaprint if Canva don't do like a magazine or something, because I'm making a magazine for the conference at the moment. So yeah, and then Deluxe Shea Butter is another one. Then I also have another company, and they are, what's it called? Business Results Club. They're a coach, and they are giving away a $2,500 coaching class for anyone, and it's online, so it doesn't matter what country you're in, you can still win it. So, and you can be online, buy a ticket online or a physical ticket to be there, and to be there you get morning tea, afternoon tea, lunch, and so on. So it'll be really exciting. So we have over $5,000 of prizes that have been donated to give away to people, and anyone that's physically there will get, I think it's about $100 in prizes. The physical guests will get, they don't need to win that. And there is also a competition. So all you need to do is make your bath bomb, candle, or soap, or you can enter all three, whichever one. Send me a picture through social media, and then we will start to promote your business for free on the on that particular Instagram that I've opened up as well. So make sure you make something and send me some pictures. If you win, then you'll get a trophy, and you'll also get an award as well. You'll get a gift voucher. So, and lots of these companies are giving away like competitions and things like that. So yeah, so do join. It's really amazing. This is our first year in Australia to do it. I've actually put my money forward to do it. So yeah, the conference, yeah, is March 2022, and then it will be every year after that. So like I said, if COVID stops it, you won't lose your money or anything like that. We will just move the date to May. But at the moment, it's definitely the 21st, and it's booked into the Brighton Beach Hotel is where it will actually be held. So it's a beautiful, luxurious kind of setting, and it's just really gorgeous. So at the moment, a lot of the tickets have gone. There's a couple dozen left, I think. So yeah, because we can't have any more than 100 people at the conference. We were hoping to have 130, but we can't. Yeah, so go online, Marie. Yeah, no problem. So you can still win the prizes. So don't think you can't. There's only one that you can't win, and that's because it's a big physical prize. But pretty much you can. The coaching will be amazing. I mean, he is really amazing. And I will be doing a live on the 1st of October, 7 p.m. Australian times with that coach, and he'll be talking all about that too. So